Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for your relationship advice. It's time to listen. It's time to get some advice about your situations as you're working at your house and at your wherever you want it to be. I can give advice to you. This is Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk Podcast. Come in at 7, sometimes at 8 o'clock. I will have the hottest interviews, have the hottest Q&As, have the hottest birthday celebrate, have the hottest parties, have a heart to heart when you're feeling lonely. I'm Super Savage, the podcast with a lot of heart, super real savage talk. Yeah, don't ever underestimate me. I got a podcast. Yeah.
What up? It's your host, Super Savage. Dripping with a lot of sauce. What's the deal? Hot topics today, y'all. You don't want to miss it, for real. Sex trafficking, your favorite vacation spots. You ever been out on vacation? Yeah. See the little young girls? They're selling those little young girls, man. We're talking about that today, as well as gun control. Too many young kids are getting shot, gunned down. We're talking about gun controllers. Also, quote of the day. You don't want to miss it. It's your host, Super Savage. Stay tuned.
Now please just turn around and listen. Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk. It's 7 o'clock, sometimes even 8. I might be late. I teach about dating. If you afraid to heal by yourself, I will help you heal. If you also just want me to lend an ear, I would just listen. My job is to always pay attention, and I want to make sure that you have a good time with my podcast. Relax with my podcast show. It's like being at home. You never be alone. This is the Super Real Savage Talk. Listen closely. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. How you feel about COVID-19? Wearing all those masks. Okay. What about dating 2 guys or 2 women and everybody wearing disguises? Let's play a trivia. Who wants to? Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk, the podcast. There's so many things to do on my podcast. You can also email me, call me on my real cellular device. Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Give you everything you want. The listeners run my spot. Super Real Savage Talk. Super Real Savage Talk. Super Real Savage Talk. Podcast. Listen.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday and Saturday.
What it is. It's your host, Super Savage. This is Super Real Savage Talks. How y'all doing this afternoon? I ain't doing too well, y'all. I need a Rello. Anybody in the Arkadelphia area can get out and get some pom-poms, bring them to my house. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Really appreciate that. Just want to let y'all know that right now. All right. Trafficking, sex trafficking. I don't know how knowledgeable y'all are about that, but the rundown for today is sex trafficking, and it's illegal, highly profitable, and it's transporting human bodies for sale for sex, purposely exploiting their bodies. And it's not just it's not older people. These are kids, so they age ranging 12 to 17 years old. So they're getting them, they're kidnapping them and taking them overseas, or taking them to just to the next state. It's like slavery, like practicing, just like how they used to slave trade back in the day. Human Rights Watch has been involved in the documentary and monitoring and serious human rights, sex trafficking, and so we're gonna talk with them a little later on. But right now, some of your most beautiful vacation spots have the most degrading sex trafficking rituals there. Your beaches, your hotels, your bars, your parks. What do you look for when you are on vacation? I mean, evidently they're disguising and hiding it very well, or making them look older than they are. But some of the worst cities with the sex trades is Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Miami, Florida, and Las Vegas. So, like I said, some of your vacation spots, and I suppose that they don't just have them like on a strip or anything, as far as like a prostitute, of course, no. They're targeting tourists, older men, for companionship, as well as some young men, but mostly older men, because they're coming on vacation. They really not gonna hush tell. It's on a hush situation. There are different organizations that run these sex operations. I haven't gotten to all that yet because it's just so much to cover. So but when you are out on vacation, do you ever see like a lot of young girls hanging out together, like maybe at a mall or at a beach or maybe at a hotel? Well, those girls are being sex trafficked, and their pimp is somewhere around, but nowhere where you'll be able to see them. They want to at least engage with the women as much as possible, with the girls as much as possible, because that's a dead giveaway. You know what I'm saying? If you have an older man around these young women, that's a sense of an alarm. So they try to stay as far away from the women, the little girls, as possible. I suppose they probably have an older woman, maybe like a mother figure to one of them, to probably try to portray that mother-daughter look. But in reality, it is sex trafficking. So next time you out on your vacation or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Shit, just, give a little eye something, give a little eye to it. Look around, see what's going on in your surroundings. Parks. They can be in parks, clubs, in the parking lot, after the clubs. Sometimes, we're having so much fun or whatever, we're not paying attention, but this is a this is a problem, guys, and it's becoming an epidemic. International Trafficking for Women and Children, Human Rights Watch, was founded in 1979. It is a website for Human Rights Watch investigates and reports on abuse and what's happening right up under your nose. They investigate and they do research work in over 100 countries, uncovering facts and creating undeniable records of human rights abuse. They have so many different stories to tell, sharing with millions of people over social media, online followers each day. The news media offers coverage. They go to places that you won't be able to go, in the depths of Somalia. Let me see what a couple places they go. They go to the Philippines. They go. The journalists go deep undercover. So much undercover that a journalist got caught for being an undercover journalist, and she's still sex trading now to this day, and it's been about 5 years ago. They know once you get overseas and you get overseas that it is hard for our police to do their work, the FBI, for us, to retrieve us back. So they've been doing some negotiation, but as far as The negotiation hasn't went too well. It was going on 4.5 years. She's been in captivity. What you won't do for a story, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we need to pray for her. Try to get some type of, they have people over there that can help, but it's so the trafficking is such a big organization. It stems back from your mayor, from our government. They are big contributors of the sex trading and trafficking. It's a hush hush, keep your nose clean, but their hands are very dirty deal. So when it comes to ethics and morals, they don't have any, because millions of kids are being lost each day. Like I said, this journalist, she went overseas. She just couldn't get the story she wanted here in the States, so she wanted to go in depth. The reporter did not want me to mention her name due to safety, so we're going to call her Karen. But Karen was a journalist for Miami local newspaper, and she started off just doing local events, and she caught a passion for the sex trafficking business, and she was inquisitive and inquired about how this process went on, and so she went undercover, and they busted her. Yeah, they busted her, and instead of killing her, because they really are supposed to kill her, they're just working her now. So she's last time she had any type of communication with the outside world was about they said about 2 years ago. So about 2 years ago, yeah. So we're gonna keep her in our prayers. When we return, we'll be talking more about the organization and what to look out for if you really do suspect that there's sex trafficking going on in your town. We'll be right back. This is Super Savage. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for your relationship advice. It's time to listen. It's time to get some advice about your situations as you're working at your house and at your wherever you want it to be. I can give advice to you. This is Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Come in at 7, sometimes at 8 o'clock. I will have the hottest interviews, have the hottest Q&As, have the hottest birthday celebrate, have the hottest parties, have a heart to heart when you're feeling lonely. I'm Super Savage the podcast with a lot of heart, Super Real Savage Talk. Yeah, don't ever underestimate me. I got a podcast addiction. Now please just turn around and listen. Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk. It's 7 o'clock, sometimes even 8. I might be late. I teach about dating. If you afraid to heal by yourself, I will help you heal. If you also just want me to lend an ear, I would just listen. My job is to always pay attention, and I want to make sure that you have a good time with my podcast. Relax with my podcast show. It's like being at home. You never be alone. This is What's up? Super Savage. Coming to you right now, speaking about sex trafficking, and we're going to go with human trafficking questions and answers. So, let's see. What is what is human trafficking? It's a global crime that trades in people and exports them for profit. People of all genders, ages, and backgrounds can become victims of this crime, which also occurs in every region of the world. Traffickers use violence, fraudulent employment agencies, fake promises of education and job opportunities to deceive their victims. The organization, network, or individuals behind this lucrative crime take advantage of people who are vulnerable, desperate, or simply seeking a better life. Human trafficking is defined in this UN Trafficking Persons Protocol on www.unodc.org. How is human trafficking different from migrant smuggling? There's two different kinds of that when it comes to that crime. Both are illegal activities, of course, but while trafficking person is a crime, they're trafficking, guns or drugs. So it is a small slight difference, but not much. Some people trafficking might start their journey out by being smugglers, doing illegal smuggling into the States. But that is no money compared to paying for bodies being transferred instead of goods. So you just basically, it's the same thing, just one pays a little bit more money than the other. So most smugglers, they start off doing that. They start off with that, with the little petty drugs. But it's much more easier to do a human, and it's much more lucrative to do a human. Who are the traffickers? Who are these perverts? Who are these heartless individuals? 2/3 of the people convicted of human trafficking offenses, they're males in the ages between of 21 to 73, 75 range. So it could be anybody. Basically, Eastern Europe and Central Asia, they convict more females than males in this trade business. So you see how lucrative it is. They do 80% convictions involving women. So it's women too. I just can't get my mind wrapped around what if that was your daughter or your child, or if it was you. So this is such a big business that they're making so much money to where now they've made it seem like it's okay, like it's just a regular thing, like selling clothes, I guess. You sell clothes, you sell bodies. There's a big difference in that, but I guess not to them. How is human trafficking? How is it it spread? How has it started off in the overseas, and now it's in the United States? So basically, since 2003, they've been collecting, statistics on it, and 50,000 human trafficking victims were detected over 148 countries. So basically, they're just, they're coming to get them. That's basically it. They're coming from Middle East, Europe, North America, East Asia, the Pacifics. They're just coming all out. Africa is a large number there as well with sex trafficking. If you have any questions or concerns, go to welcome to the UnitedNations.org. They have all of the information you need there. And I'm laughing at my homeboy out here really sleep. Nodding off and shit, like, Sometimes, most of the time, my topics are very, very, flamboyant. I guess you can joke around, but this is not a joke around topic, So he came on a serious note, on a serious end of of a podcast. So the organization that I work with, as well as a lot of other people that I know, it is International Trafficking for Women and Children, Human Rights Watch, and they're founded in 1978. And you can go on the website, and you can join, you can donate, you can read testimonies, things of that nature. So they're very, very, very good website. I suggest you check it out. They meet with governments and rebel groups and corporations, and they see on how they can change policy and procedures in law enforcement and justice. They also, their motto is, we work on some of the world's biggest crises. So they don't just work on sex trafficking. They do COVID-19. They do the war in Somalia. They do the war in Philippines, the killings that are in Philippines. COVID-19 right now is hitting Africa as hard as ever. They're not having any vaccines. We have vaccines, but we won't send it to them because I don't know why, but they're not getting vaccines. And we're sitting over here with multiple amounts of vaccines, which is another topic, but just showing you some of the things that they work on, trying to get the applications to different avenues. Ken Roth is executive director, and together we can use our influences from advocating with world's leaders to sharing the truth of what's happening on the ground to stop repression around the world. So that's their motto. Quote of the day. Quote of the day will be the next rundown. Quote of the day comes from Aretha Franklin. And I'm going to tell y'all something now. Normally I read multiple quotes. But this quote just hit home. I didn't need to read anything else. So, so the quote of the day is from Aretha Franklin. And she says, "Judge not one, judge not all, but look at yourselves." So, at the end of the day, you want to be the type of person that's have morals and have a concept of respect in life, but as well as you want to be able to look at a person and not judge them. I know that's hard because we do it every day, but she's looking at it from a religious point, and that point is basically that we're not supposed to judge each other, we're supposed to help each other. So that's basically how that goes. And when we come back from the break, we will be talking about gun control. How is your community? What are they doing to stop gun control and gun violence? It has to start with the police, I feel. When we return to Super Savage.
The Super Real Savage Talk. Listen closely. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk that out. How you feel about COVID-19? Wearing all those masks. Okay. What about dating two guys or two women and everybody wearing disguises? Let's play a trivia. Who wants to Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk, the podcast? There's so many things to do on my podcast. You can also email me, call me on my real cellular device. Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Give you everything you want. The listeners run my spot. Super Real real savage talk. Super real savage talk. Super real savage talk. Podcast. Listen every Wednesday.
Yeah. This your girl, Super Savage. We are back once again, talking about sex trafficking. We did quote of the day. Our next rundown is gun control. Gun control is the set of laws of policies and regulations that the manufacturing, sale, transfer, possession, and modifications of use of firearms by civilians. Most countries have a restrictive firearm guiding policy, with only a few legislators being categorized. I don't know what's going on, but something needs to change. There's a lot of different things being done by the wayside. I'm in Arkansas, and in Pine Bluff, a 2-year-old little girl gets shot in the head. I mean, how absurd is that? I'm not understanding and wrapping my mind around the gun violence that's taking over our nation. I want everybody just to remember that these are not toys. Gun violence is violence committed on the use of the gun. I mean, what do you mean? It's involving crimes, homicide, assault, deadly weapons, suicide, attempted suicide. I mean, it's an epidemic, and it needs to be addressed. Biden to convince session on rising gun violence will be on Monday. It says that he's facing a nationwide increase in violent crime, particularly in firearms. President Joe Biden will meet Monday with we'll meet Monday with law enforcement's local elected officials and advocates to discuss his efforts and to address these gun crimes. The White House says that Biden will highlight his administration push to increase funding for local law enforcement, to improve community policies, practicing through the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill he signed into law earlier this year. But some states say that how effective will that be? The plans to fund youth employment programs and other measures that could help curtail this violence. The meeting comes from Biden has sought to flip the script on Republicans who have latched onto some progressive cause to defend the police nationwide reckoning over police shootings of black people. Biden has opposed defend efforts and instead has called on lawmakers to pass legislation armed at reforming the police departments. Through the efforts faces an uphill battle in Congress. So, like I said, it's gonna take a lot. Not just with the government, but with our communities. Not with just our communities, but with our homes. Starting in the homes, I feel that this is something that stems from violence in the home as well. We need something. I feel like we need reformed in parenting, addiction counseling, outreach programs for mothers and fathers who cannot give their kids a safe home because of their prior run-in with violence. So we have to go all the way to the core and start there. I just want everybody to know right now, These senseless shootings have to stop. We're killing each other. This is the time we need to rise up against COVID-19, rise up against gun violence, and let the government and everyone know that we will not take this battle laying down. If you have any questions or concerns about tonight's podcast, you can always hit me up on superjessrealsavage@gmail.com, as well as robinbuckley18@gmail.com, or Super Savage, the Miss Super Savage, at Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. This is a epidemic, and there's a crisis that's going on in America. So tonight, when you say your prayers, not just for COVID-19, but for the people that are losing their lives to gun violence, to the people that are losing their lives and their loved ones to sex trafficking, I would like to have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Join me next week as we hit more hard-hitting questions of kidnapping and your local police departments be exploited. I'm Super Savage. This is Super Real Savage Talks, and enjoy your weekend. Till next time. Love each other, love yourselves, and take care of yourselves out there.
This is your podcast show. Yes. Super's Real Savage